Hey folks, it's Al, the bald video gamer dude here, and I'm reviewing Black Ops 2 for Fallen Nerd. Black Ops 2 is the sequel to 2010's Black Ops and is the newest Call of Duty game in a long line of Call of Duty games. Produced by Treyarch and Activision, as usual, as most of the Call of Duty games are, and I'm here to tell you what it's all about. So it features both Frank Woods and Alex Mason from the original, and new character David Mason, who's Alex's son. It takes place in two different timelines as well, one in 2025 in the future, featuring drone warfare and cool little remote control tanks, and one in the past, back in the 1980s, with all your classic weapons, you know, your C4, your Jalil guns, your FAMASs. It's really interesting considering it's both a clash of a possible future and a past that actually did happen. As we all know, Alex Mason in the original was captured by the Russians and his mind was implanted with ideas and numbers. We see more of that story as Black Ops 2 progresses. As usual with any Call of Duty game, you get to use different weapons, including cool little futuristic weapons like a little spider thing that you can kind of crawl around vents in and stuff. You can also use different attachments on your guns. Something different for this year is that you can customize your loadout when you're leaving to do a mission. So if you don't like a particular gun and want to start with something else, then you can. The only problem with that is that the ammo for this is finite. So once you get into a level, if you've chosen a gun that no one else is using, then chances are you're only going to get to the point where you use up your bullets, and that's you. Also new is the tactics missions, where basically you're given a capture point or something to destroy and you've got to go there. You're not only controlling yourself, you're controlling a squad, and you're controlling different drones, like small tanks and dragonflies, which are flying drones. This is really different. It's like, some of them are like capture the flag, where you can go and you can actually control your whole squad from the air. You can tell them to go to point A to point B, and then or you can go out like Rambo as a one-man army and take down people. Black Ops 2 is like any other Call of Duty game, and the fact that it isn't that hard to kill people. Even playing on veteran isn't terribly hard to kill people. It's all run and gun and aiming. The difference between a lot of other Call of Duty games and Black Ops 2 is the fact that Black Ops 2 does actually have a fairly interesting story. Yes, it's Hollywood-esque, there's a lot of explosions, there's a lot of gunfights, which you would expect. I'm not asking Treyarch for a game that changes everything. I'm not asking them for plots that change everything. I'm looking to play a Hollywood blockbuster game. That's exactly what I'm looking to play. And in my opinion, Treyarch always come out with it. Well, Activision always come out with it. I mean, the last few Call of Duty games have been like Hollywood blockbusters, but they've not been terribly interesting to play. Black Ops 2 does have a fairly interesting story about revenge, about world values and stuff, and it is really interesting. It also has a sort of RPG aspect to it. No, not rocket-propelled grenades, but role-playing game, where you get to make several different decisions. These aren't major decisions, but they do affect the outcome of your game, so you might want to replay the game a couple of times to see what different outcomes you can get. If you choose not to play the tactics games, the campaign gets a lot harder or a lot more different because you haven't completed these different side missions as such. I find this very interesting, and it's a different way for both Treyarch and Activision to go, because recently it has mostly been run and gun, guy taking over the world, usual. Now down to the thing that most people will be buying the game for, and that is multiplayer. Multiplayer, as usual, is a bunch of maps, and you can play several different games, including classics like Team Deathmatch, Kill Confirmed, Search and Destroy. This year, the difference being the Choose 10. Now in your loadout, you get 10 points to choose. Everything costs a point. You can choose one gun with 3 attachments as long as you have a wild card. Now the wild cards are down the bottom, and they change the rules of a gun. So you can have a primary gunfighter where you can attach 3 different attachments to your primary gun. This probably means that you won't be able to have a secondary weapon, and if you do, you'll probably have to take off some of your perks or maybe your grenades and tacticals. This doesn't mean you can't use the classic setup for Call of Duty games, which is a primary gun, 2 attachments, a secondary gun, 3 perks, 2 tacticals and a grenade. You certainly can use these if you like. You don't need to change the game, but it does give you the chance. It gives you something interesting to work with, and it also means that more people are on an even playing field because you're playing towards your game style rather than playing towards what the game wants you to play. For every time you rank up or every different thing you do, you get tokens, and these tokens unlock guns, attachments, score streaks. Now speaking of score streaks, that's a new thing. It's no longer kill streaks. You're not getting these awesome weapons for killing people. You still get it for killing people because you get points for killing people, but it's also things like capturing the flag or blowing people up, assists. They all get you points which go towards you getting a score streak. The absolutely cool thing about getting score streaks means that if you are an objective player and you don't kill many people, you can still get these huge streaks because you're capturing a lot of objectives. The score streaks are more difficult, I'd say, to get than in previous games where you got kill streaks. It's not any harder to kill anyone in this game than it has been in previous games. It does seem like it's harder than Modern Warfare 3, which in my opinion was very easy to kill people on a map. The maps are from medium size to large. They're mostly bright and vibrant, so you can see a lot, and I've had no problems with it so far. In the first few days there was lag issues and there was a few issues with deploying some of your gear, but those seem to have been patched up in recent days. I'm giving the game 4.5 out of 5 nerds. I really do think this has come a long way since earlier Call of Duty games, and it's moving in the right direction. So thus far I've really enjoyed it, and I doubt I'm going to stop enjoying it to now. So thanks very much for watching, folks. I've been Al, the Bald Video Gamer Dude, and you're watching Following the Nerd. Keep following the nerd, like us, comment, and please subscribe and check out my own channel. Thank you very much, folks.